We are live. Oh, Ashley turned her camera off. Why? Why did you turn your camera off, Ashley?
Well, I will have mine on next week when I have one.
You have a camera. What?
I don't have a camera.
Sounds evil to me. What sorcery is this?
Well, it's called I should be getting paid on the first, so I should have like $40 to buy a cheap camera.
Don't we have an extra camera, Ashley?
No, here I use two cameras, so.
The other one got destroyed in the hurricane.
Yep.
Poor. You'll put this on Reddit? Or is that a good idea for Reddit?
No, Reddit's not going to help the podcast.
Just asking. I'm posting shit in right now. I'll be talking about D&D as well.
Hey, look at that. Look at this. We already got a downvote.
Huh?
We already got a downvote. What the hell?
Thumbs down?
Yeah, we already got a thumbs down.
Oh.
Oh, wait, that was me. Oops, sorry.
It looks like we know who gives the thumbs down, Ashley. On your video, you gotta murder him.
I just turned it to a thumbs up, and actually someone just did give it a dislike. Ashley, did you give it a dislike?
No, I gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
But someone did give it a dislike. Someone don't like it, Lance.
Oh, wait. Whoever did it just changed it to an upvote, too. Who's in here?
I don't know either. I fixed the mic. I put the stuff out Discord and Facebook. Now we just wait a little bit, and we just talk to ourselves like a bunch of monkeys.
I'm just gonna wait.
So how was Barnes and Noble? How expensive was everything over there?
It's like $10 for a normal novel now. Hell that.
I thought it used to be $6-7.
So, like some of the older books are $7.99, but
Hey, it's Carl. Hey, Carl.
What's expensive?
Books, just like regular novels. Like
manga. You don't want to look at manga.
Well, hey, at least manga's always been expensive.
Yeah, I still buy it though.
You never go to bed, Carl. Your waifu is mine. I got her my hostages now.
Yeah, it's a new waifu now. Her name is Saturn-chan.
You want to give us buku money? We'll give you the actual actual print of the art, Carl. Or bullying Vera. Okay. So we got a couple gaming news this week. I know that for a fact. Not much really going on. I think one big thing was the Metroid 4 has to be needs to be redone. Good luck getting my waifu. You have no idea, Carl. Graham?
Yes.
So yeah, the Metro 4 has been redone.
Well, I know. Delay. I was just waiting to see if more people showed up. Just gonna wait 5 minutes.
Wait 5 minutes.
Yeah. Lance, how was your day?
My day is eyes hurt so bad that I edit all these mistakes I've done for last night's game.
You've been annoying me all day and won't leave me alone.
Because I was bored. I don't want to edit hours upon hours of video and try to remove dead noise. Cats?
Actually, I want you to know that he was up at 5 a.m. watching StarCraft Professional League with me at 5 a.m.
Yeah, well, I was.
I heard you guys. You guys woke me up.
I didn't do anything. Welcome, Carl. How do you like Resident Evil 2, Carl? How you like watching Resident Evil 2?
I didn't watch it. I don't want no spoilers.
I probably won't get it until it drops down to $20.
I'm not gonna watch anything on it until I'm playing it.
Isn't the storyline still the same as the second one for the PS1?
Similar, little modified.
So we already know what's happening then, Ashley. You already played Resident Evil 2 on the PS1, didn't you?
I actually played it on the GameCube.
Long time ago.
We have it in English. Yeah, 1 to 3 in English. We have 3 on the GameCube. I have 1 through. I have all the Resident Evil except for the remake that came out. I wanna know, am I alive? I'm gonna buy that map module on Roll20 because I'm not gonna spend another 8 to 10 hours drawing a map because there's like 28 layers of this dungeon. And it's like I do not want to spend 12 hours per dungeon drawing it out.
But I mean, but they don't provide all the maps, right?
They do. They give you all the maps. That saves me about almost 200 hours of drawing all of it.
I mean, where are you getting the map from? Are you buying the map pack?
Yeah, and Roll20.
How much is it?
$20. Also, I can get you as a co-GM if you want to do Pathfinder on the Roll20.
How do you do that?
I just gotta set you up as a co-DM. But I'm gonna find out. Everyone's gonna want to agree if we buy modules like maps or dungeons and stuff, or creature race and stuff. We can all if we all get it, and I have put on my account. Anyone that's DM joining our game as a player can use that. Use that module and stuff. Everything else, basically, we're just gonna pull a pool in and just put money in, like one book once a month. Like $20 worth.
Well, set it up so I can do Starfinder on it.
I will tomorrow. So are you ready for Starfinder this week? Are we finally going to have Starfinder this week?
I think so. I got to find one more player. I need 4 players.
Who's the third player?
Post. He already has a character.
So, fourth player.
Post-apocalyptic gamer.
Yeah, I know. And I'm trying to figure out who's going to be their 4th player. Devin's pretty good, actually, last night.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. I guess it's been a couple minutes. Let's get in.
Subscribe, hit the like button, and share. We'll talk about gaming news, and we'll answer some of your hopefully colorful questions. Okay.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Late Show live, featuring me, Grim Monolith, Lance, and of course the lovely cameraless Ashley. All right, get into the news, sir.
Metro 4 Prom needs to be redone.
Yeah, they scrapped it. So what was the deal with that? Like, was it being done by a third-party developer?
It was getting done by a third-party developer, and I forgot the original the people that owns Metroid. I forgot what the company was. Did not like it. Will not sign it off. So Nintendo had to scrap it and have the people that originally made Metroid to do it because it's their baby and they don't want people to screw up the franchise.
Was it Metroid that based on a book?
No, that's the Russian one. That's different. Metroid Prime, Samus.
So you don't see my face because the camera on this laptop is kind of doesn't work anymore.
He has peanut butter. He's experimenting with peanut butter, putting all over his beard so the cats can start licking at it. See how many cats it takes to lick a peanut butter off his beard.
That doesn't belong in a video game pod. Oh my god. It's a late show live featuring me, not cats in a beard. Come on.
We'll get so many subs.
Wants to see my face.
Yeah, that's why I have my
I'll
face.
have a camera next week. after I get paid.
You need a new computer. That's what you
after
need.
X.
You need a new computer.
Yes, I do. But I'm going to start with a new like $30, $40 webcam.
If you want me to help you get on Amazon, might be a lot cheaper. I can get 2-day shipping for it.
Yeah. You're gonna have to get me books on
Amazon.
So you have to get it on Amazon for me. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm sorry. So this game was being done by a third-party developer, and Nintendo scrapped everything they were doing. That's the story, correct?
So it's gonna be.
So
probably won't see it for another 2 years.
I 2 to 3 years at least. We'll probably see it on the next version of the Switch. So there would be no Metroid on this Switch. I mean, there was no Metroid on the Wii U, right? When was the last time they made a Metroid? Just for the DS, right?
On the DS, and I think Metroid M or Metroid M other, I believe.
I think there was a Metroid on the Wii U, but I don't know.
There was no Metroid. So that's the thing. There was no Metroid in the Wii U.
It was a Wii, I believe.
Wii?
Yeah, there was a couple on the Wii.
Nintendo skips have.
Well, there's also rumors circulating that Metroid Prime trilogy is coming on to the porting over to the Switch.
And that was a Wii game.
That was a GameCube game. It came to the port to the Wii as well, but the first 1, 2, and 3 was a GameCube one. They're gonna port that over to the Switch, so people don't get pissed off about the 4 being redone. I am saying, fix your shit. Carl, if you give Graham $50, he'll fix his shit in 2 days.
No, Carl, you don't have to give me any money. Don't worry.
I
need money. Give me some money, Carl. I'll take off my
jacket
for you.
Gave me money on my art stream on Friday.
Yeah.
Yes. Carl, save your money for the content creators and not me on the podcast. There you go.
You know, you'll be like you're gonna be one of the main talk show hosts now. I'll be the guy in the podium, like laughing at your stupid joke. That's a good one, boss.
You're the sidekick.
I don't have money. He spent all of his money on his waifus. That's what he did.
Hey, that's fine. You gotta have your hobbies, right?
Yeah. I'm actually going to be finishing the painting this week. I'll put the videos up this week for 2 of them. Screw the cold weather. It's freaking getting cold and it's getting too hot. It's getting cold and too hot. I'm just gonna.
Lance. Tomorrow, do your priming. It's going to be 56 degrees.
You mean varnish?
Or varnish, whatever. Do it outside.
Depending how strong the wind is, everything else. Remember, this can be spray painting the cardboard, and if it gets too cold or too hot, the mixtures are gonna get all bubbly.
Because another snowstorm is coming our way.
Oh, so it's coming to you. More snow for you.
Yeah, more snow for you.
Isn't that great, Graham?
I'd rather have you get the snow than me.
It doesn't.
We're too warm.
Yeah. Well, there were times it was like actually 20 degrees. It would be a nice time to snow if it started raining, but after it gets 55 degrees, it starts raining. So it's like, You have old school magic cards. I give you money. I have to go to Redding, California. I dig into the closet. All my old school cards from Alpha to whatever set I have is in Redding, California. My binder full of magic cards is in Redding, a storage room in Redding, California. I will get that to the summer, Carl. Then I will sell it. I'm probably gonna sell all my magic cards anyways. I have no use for them, and I don't really care much for it anymore. Sorry, Grim.
Sell them off. Get that money.
Yeah.
Now, there was a rumor going around by all the Keyforge players that Magic was dying because Keyforge sold $1 million worth of product on its launch.
I really didn't see much people buying Keyforge. Keep seeing it at the stores.
Yeah, Barnes & Noble has boxes of it apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, Magic is dying, even though Hasbro put that Ravnica Allegiance Mythic box on their eBay page and sold like $10 million worth of it in like 5 hours. But Magic is dying.
Mm-hmm. Do red land? No, I need to save about 6 or 8 grand to get all our stuff from the storage unit and get my car over here. What happened
your
to
car?
Yeah, my car.
You told me your car crashed.
No, my dad's car. He's giving it to me. Remember?
It's not going to cost you 6 or 8 grand to get that car.
No, it's going to cost me $1,000 to get that car over here, but stuff in the storage unit is going to be a couple grand.
You're shipping it by post, aren't
you? Depends how much stuff we have. Like all the furniture's in there, it's gonna be thrown out. But all the stuff that I'm gonna keep, like all my military stuff in there, Ashley's and my mom's winter clothes is in there.
Why don't you just get one of those carts you can pull with the car?
I'm not driving that. I'm not driving across country. Freaking crazy.
So it's gonna cost you more to have a car shipped than it would be in gas. Just saying.
Well, actually, no. If you drive that car and come over here, I'm gonna spend about $3,000 in gas. Plus,
what does it get? 10 miles to the gallon.
It gets like 20 miles to the gallon. Plus hotels. Plus, there's a lot of mountains and
You're
enclave
spending
and stuff.
at least 10 grand going cross country.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just map it out by Walmarts, right? And then sleep in the Walmart parking lots in the car. Yeah. Just saying, that's what you could do.
Not going to happen with my disability.
Right, Carl? I mean, no one's going to know. I'm not going to say nothing, Carl. You going to tell people? No, Carl's not going to tell anyone.
Yeah, I'm not going to drive 4 or 5 days across country. I don't have the mentality to do it either. You can do it.
All right.
I can't do it. I can't.
No, I can't do it. I can't. I'm too sick. Anyway, let's get back into the news. All right. So Metroid Prime canceled the Switch, which means I don't think we're going to see it there is a revision of the Switch at the very least. And yes, rumored Metroid Prime Trilogy, which was on the Nintendo Wii, is coming to the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the news on Metroid. And I think it's the same deal that happened with Squaresoft. They gave the project to a third-party developer, and they didn't like what they saw. So they scrapped it and took it from the third-party developer, and they just decided that they're going to start from the ground up.
Yep. And guess
what?
We're not going to have Final Fantasy 7 first before we get Metroid 4.
At this point, yes, because if you think about it, right? Squaresoft, they scrapped it, but we're already a year into them scrapping it. So they've had a year to work on the new version of Final Fantasy.
It's going to take them at least 2 to 3 years.
And now Kingdom Hearts 3 is done, so you get full production onto the Final Fantasy 7.
Now, Kingdom Hearts 3. Let's move on to that. What do you think of the collector's bundle, the $80 collector's bundle?
That half the people are not getting?
So if you don't get that, and by the way, there's also a $300 limited edition, which is even more belligerent, by the way. But let's just focus on the $80.
I got the $80 one. Coming in the mail on Tuesday.
There was that Kingdom Hearts PlayStation 4 Pro edition and GameStop.
Yeah, there was a sellout problem.
Yeah.
I saw Review Tech USA regurgitate that news as well.
I stole it from him.
Yeah, I saw Mr. Rich Review Tech USA regurgitate that as well as he regurgitates everything. But
RGT does it too, and Spawnwave.
Yeah. Well,
everyone pretty much does it now.
I mean, at least Spawnwave has a actual formatted news show. You know what I mean? Like, look, I don't want to get into calling people out, but Spawnwave has an actual formatted news show that he does every morning.
Mm-hmm.
These other people we're talking about don't. They just make spur-of-the-moment random videos. Like, oh my God, it's news on IGN. I just read that on IGN. I gotta make a video. I mean, I think it's pathetic. But let's get on.
I'm gonna stop there. So
let's get on. Let's get into the $80. Yeah, I'll make fun of Rich later because I think what he does is wrong. But the $80 version that you got, right? So for the people who didn't get the $80 version, they're not getting all of the DLC. There's actual, as far as I can tell, and you can correct me if it's wrong, because I'm not 100% sure.
Only if you pre-order from Amazon.
No, there's DLC in it, in the $80 version, that if you don't get the $80 version, you can't get the DLC, and it gives you more. It gives you some powers or something that you don't get if you get the regular version.
It's not. If you don't pre-order it, the $80 one, you cannot get the special Keyblade.
Right, which gives you special abilities.
And guess which asshole's getting that?
But you know what? That's bullshit, and I'll tell you why. Because that's basically pay to win. That's pay to win.
Not really. It doesn't have any special power. It's just a skin, basically.
No, I read. It said that it has special powers that you can't get otherwise if you do not buy the $80 version.
Why are you only
getting a special Keyblade?
Yeah. So but that's pay to win. That's pay to win. Nothing should ever be pay to win. Pay to win is B and S. Pay to win is B and S. Bull.
That's what they're doing nowadays. Everything's paid.
Yeah, but that needs, like, these companies need to stop that. I'm not down with that.
If people stop paying for it, then they would stop. But because people keep paying, they're never gonna stop.
You're the one that won the damn thing, so I got it for you.
I didn't tell you to get the special edition. I just said get Kingdom Hearts 3. Did I ever specify that I wanted the special edition?
We've been getting all the special edition of Kingdom Hearts 3 when it came out for 2.5 or 1.5.
I mean, that's fine. When the disc is a special edition because it comes with collectibles, or may I dare say, right, a figurine, or even downloadable outfits. Okay, all right, no problem. But when you're giving an advantage, a play advantage for more money, that's where I draw the line. So, I mean, Sony usually doesn't even allow companies to do that. So I'm surprised.
I think Sony, Disney got
it might have been Disney.
Yeah.
One of Sony's DLC rules is that you can't have special DLC that breaks the that breaks the game. It's like with mods, right? You know how there are cheat mods for Skyrim, like that will give you 10,000 gold or make it so that you get the best swords. Anyway, there are cheat mods. They are not available on Sony. Any mod that changes the gameplay or modifies the game in Skyrim is not available on the PS4. They're all available on the Xbox One, but they're not available on the PS4.
Well, the gun gal, you can spend $100, modify the whole game to see girls with no clothes on. Shoot at them.
What game is that?
Gal gun. It's like $100 DLC.
That's just a skin modification, though. That's my point. That's fine.
What is?
You know.
Are you sure it wasn't Disney doing this?
It could be. I mean, but the DLC is available for it doesn't matter the system. It's Xbox One.
How many did it make of these, anyways?
I mean, I'm sure that they're going to make as many copies of this as they need, right?
God damn it! I want to sell it to make more money.
So the only one that's going to have a limited edition is the one we already know that we mentioned before that GameStop oversold.
Well, $300 one, $399
was the special edition PlayStation 4 edition, right? Which they oversold.
And a lot of people are not getting the product that they paid for.
Well, right. I mean, they're getting their money returned and a $25 gift certificate. But I say that GameStop has done so much stuff wrong that they have had so much bad press that they need to do more than a $25 gift certificate. Carlos says Sony doesn't let mods with outside assets be used. I mean, I guess there you go. That's really what Sony's doing. That's why the Skyrim mods are gimped in PS4.
Mhm.
But so that's probably not the case with this game because it's not an outside mod. It's a direct party mod made by Squaresoft, but it's still pay to win, and that's bull. To offer a version of the game with more money with quote unquote cheats or special abilities, these companies need to stop that. You know. So what do you guys think?
Plus, GameStop shouldn't care.
What do you guys
because they're
think
getting bought
GameStop
out.
should do? Well, GameStop wants to be bought out for the highest price they can.
Yeah.
So that means that they have to have. It's almost like being the president, where your popularity rating matters.
Mhm.
Because the person buying you out is going to look at, well, how do people feel about this company? Are people going to continue to shop at this company? If they feel that you're, I'm going to call it a consumer confidence value for the company. If your consumer confidence value is higher, you're probably going to be worth more in their eyes. So you're going to get.
The GameStop's not going to be worth
This is
much.
pretty much what's going to happen when they
There's
get
a
bought
year
out.
like Blockbuster did.
Yeah, they're just going to buy it for the highest bidder, and they're just going to keep majority of the money to themselves and their CEOs, and just hand it off to someone to pretty much burn it down to the ground.
Maybe, but the companies that we're looking at were the companies that legitimately owned other businesses that are still going, like Hot Topic and so forth. So these are not investment companies that just burn businesses to the ground. They're investment companies that look to buy businesses that they can actually make money off of. So that's going to be a problem, right? For GameStop, because I think that the potential for them to make a lot of money over the years is not there, and I think anyone looking at buying them sees that. But here's the question regarding Kingdom Hearts 3, right? What do you think the proper response GameStop should have given to the people that are not getting their console? What do you think the proper response?
Free Kingdom Hearts.
No, I think $25 is
more
than enough.
Hold on. I like that. I think that is better than the $25. I think that's what they should have offered them.
A digital code of Kingdom Hearts.
I think you honestly hit the nail on the head, and this is what I was actually going to say. Everyone who didn't get their console, I don't care how many it is, GameStop needs to suck it up and offer them a digital code for a free copy of the normal version of
That's
Kingdom
never going to fucking happen.
Well, that's what they should have done. That is what they should have done. I will stand by that. I don't care if everyone believes that that's something that will never have happened, but that is literally what they should have done. Mm-hmm. That is the only way that this could have come out good for them.
How many of these things that Squaresoft made anyways? These limited edition, the actual console itself. I like the design of it, but it's like once you get it, a lot of times the Xbox One and the PS4 Pro Collector Edition, they're like feels like stickers on covering it. That's pretty much it. It's not.
It eventually starts peeling off.
Yeah, and because like the PS3 one, they actually etched the shit into it. On the PS4 and Xbox One, they're like fucking freaking stickers, like decal stickers.
I mean, it could be, right? The controller looks like it's a decal. I'm looking at the controller right now. The controller has a decal on the touchpad. It looks like a decal. I mean, that's definitely not etched into the controller.
Yeah.
So over time of rubbing your finger on that, it's gonna wear off.
Yeah. So it's like
I think you can put the system in a place where you could store the system in a way that it's not.
If you don't want your thing to get destroyed over the years, just make sure to put in the box, still sealed, and put in the closet. They're never to be seen for the next 30 years, and then sell it. There you go. There's your money making.
Yeah, I mean, sure. That works.
like my PlayStation, like a PlayStation Classic, right there. I am waiting until everyone buries into a big pit. 20, 30 years later, they'll dig it up like, oh my gosh, it's a PlayStation Classic. I'm gonna go outside, rub some dirt on it, and tell us it's from the pit and sell for millions of dollars.
What
Be
happens
like,
if they do testing to see if it's dirt from that pit?
So they gotta
You-
spend
They get screwed.
well, not
Is this-
really, because no one wants to spend thousands of dollars test dirt off of a PlayStation to make sure it's
Is-
genuine.
is this in reference to the fake video game crash of 1983?
What, an ET one?
Well, the fake video game crash of 1983, where all the Atari games went on sale.
Mhm.
That's what the crash consisted of. Okay, look, I was alive when it happened. I was very young, so I don't remember it. But I can tell you right now that the video game crash of 1983 consisted of nothing more than Atari games going on sale.
Mhm.
Okay. The Intellivision and the ColecoVision, which were out at that time, and the Atari 5200,
Mhm.
none of those sold well to begin with to call it a crash.
Mhm.
So the sales on those systems didn't crash. They were never good. Okay. The only thing that crashed was the fact that all the Atari games went on sale.
Mhm.
Back then, me and my brother, we were playing on an Apple IIe, and we had tons of games, and tons of games still kept coming out for the Apple IIe. Tons of games were still coming out for the Commodore 64.
Mhm.
Okay, there was no crash when you talk about those computers, which most of the software that was made for them, quite frankly, were games.
Mhm.
There was no crash. It should be the Atari crash or the North American Atari crash of 1983.
Mhm.
Now, I know and listen to retro gamers that are in other countries like Europe or Australia, and they're like, there was no crash in this country. Well, it's because they didn't have video game consoles in your country, no matter what you tell me. In the UK, video game consoles didn't exist in 1983. So it's a ridiculous notion to say that the crash didn't affect you. It didn't affect you because the systems weren't in your country. I mean, the ZX Spectrum was the computer that was in the UK at that time, and it sold a lot of games as well. But the Apple IIe and the Commodore 64 also were in those countries at that time and sold a lot of games.
Mhm.
Look, those systems didn't experience a crash. The only crash was Atari sold a bunch of stuff for cheap and then dumped a bunch of stuff in a landfill. And that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
And I think the moral to the story is GameStop needs to be put in the landfill.
Well, it's going to die soon, anyways. I'm giving it another 5 more years.
And they need to save face, do the right thing, and give everyone that they screwed over on this bundle a free download code for Kingdom Hearts 3. That's what they need to do.
Well,
All right.
What else came
All
out?
right.
What else happened this week? There's not
No
much.
idea. You're the topic
Final
man.
Fantasy X and X2. It's gonna be coming. Well, X will come on the cartridge. X2 is downloadable, except for Southeast Asia. Spawnwave was talking about it. That is all the game X and X2 is gonna be in one cartridge down there, but over here we'll get it separate.
It's gonna be on the Switch.
Yeah.
Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But they both should be on the PS4. They're both on the PS4 disc, right?
Yeah.
And on the Xbox One disc. So that right there for me is a deal breaker. That means I would never get it for the Switch. I mean, I already
We're
own
not
that.
getting it for the Switch. We already had. It was on the PlayStation 3.
No, 2,
and then
3, and now we have it on the 4.
4.
Is the PlayStation 4 version any different than the PlayStation 3 version?
No, it's
No.
not. It's just better lighting. That's it. It looked the same. I really don't see any textural difference.
So I also have it for the Vita. I have it on the Vita, and on the Vita, which has much smaller carts than the Nintendo Switch, because of course the Vita came out in 2011. It has X on the cart, and X2 is a download as well. So why on the Switch, where the game clearly, both games are small enough to easily fit on a Switch cart? Why is one downloadable?
One thing was that the cartridge that the Nintendo is having that they pay for is 32 gigabyte. They say they can't shove it into it.
So you know what? That's their fault. They should have bought 64 gig carts then.
I think there is 64 card because a lot of these games are like 64. Well, some of the Nintendo 64. I think the company doesn't want to pay that much for it, and they want to profit more in the long run than later on. I know I know that Final Fantasy 12 is going to be coming to the Switch as well. There's going to be one cartridge as well. I think that's like a bigger game than X and X2 together.
No, not really, because Final Fantasy 12 was on the PlayStation 2.
I think it's probably the same.
Mm.
Probably just
same as 10.
Well, a lot more graphically better looking than X and X2.
So that's probably true, but the space it takes up, say it takes up a couple extra gigabytes, it still is probably in the realm of the same size as X and X2 individually. Yeah. So let's say X2 is 6 gigabytes, and I don't know, 12 is probably like maybe 8 gigabytes. I mean, these games aren't that big. I don't understand why. I don't understand why Nintendo's doing this. Look, I was considering buying it on the Switch, but there's no way I'm doing that. I understood for the Vita, those Vita carts are 16 gigabytes. So if they fit the entire Final Fantasy X on one Vita cart with 6 gigabytes,
I bet you if a 13, Final Fantasy 13.3 comes onto the Switch, you buy that in a heartbeat.
No, I only like 13.3.
Yeah, you'll buy that in a heartbeat on the Switch.
Absolutely, I'd get it. I'd get a remastered Final Fantasy Lightning Returns.
I did not like the
game. That was a good game. That was a good game. You didn't even play through it, Lance. You don't even know. You're just talking.
No,
I
played like 3 hours of it. Like, this is just stupid. Click. There's a lot of the games I play so far.
Look, 3 hours to Final Fantasy 3 isn't even enough to get through the first cutscene. So, I don't know where you're going with that argument. Literally, like...
No, it went to good, crap, and crappier.
It is like 4 hours.
It's just that I want a good... If you, like, continue on from one storyline to the next, you know, give, like, more, like... You like Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, right? And between, they got the DS, the DS games for it. That tells you what's going on between and get all the information, what we missed and everything else.
And then there was
they need to do that with 13.
Drop by Sleep or something, Birth by Sleep or whatever. That was like a prequel to the first one. So, yeah, a lot of these games where they in between and they explain the whole story.
Yeah. It's like put you one area to another area. Like, what the hell just happened? I don't remember this.
Of course you don't remember, Lance, because you don't remember anything.
Ah, is that
true? I tried playing the first 13. I didn't like it, so I said screw the others.
The first one was okay. The second one was a non-game. It shouldn't have ever been made.
Yeah.
The third one had a great combat system.
But the story sucked.
I mean, it took place in like a future world.
Yeah.
On the same planet, but civilization had changed, and it was sometime in the future. I forget how far in the future. But okay. But anyway, the point here is, I think there's no excuse not to have both games on.
I don't
think
because for Bayonetta, it should be easily put onto a cartridge.
And I think that Nintendo shouldn't be buying 32 gigabyte cartridges. I don't think.
I don't know what their plan is, but whatever they're doing, it's working. People are buying it.
It's not Nintendo's fault, right? Because Squaresoft has to pay for the cartridges.
Yeah.
So Squaresoft is the one that's buying 32 gig cartridges. And if I was Nintendo, I would be turning around and saying, no. The minimum cartridge you can buy is 64 gigabytes.
Because Capcom did the Revelation 1 and 2. Nintendo did the Bayonetta 1 and 2, the same ideal of it. There's a lot of other games that did the same thing. It comes 1 and 2, but it's the second one that's always Mega Man Legacy Collection for the Switch that I have. Number 2 is downloadable.
I mean, this is true, and this is why I don't own those games on the Switch. I don't own those on the Switch.
A lot of these games I do actually have on other platform, but those are the games I got just to do a live stream for it as well. Sagan Kagura Rebirth. Too much damn talking in that game. Not enough boob action. Well, the PlayStation 4 censorship. I really didn't see that much censorship in this game. I was playing for a while.
It had no censorship. What you talking about? It still had boob physics.
Well, it has boob physics, but it has the same little, like cover the nipples and stuff. But you still almost see everything. Like you see a clip, a cutscene of them ripping clothes off until they have nothing on, stuff like that. I don't know what's the, I don't know what the PlayStation 4 censorship is. In detail, I know that Dead or Alive 6 they heavily done it. But Sagan Kagura Rebirth.
I think it depends on the company.
Well, a lot of the games are getting kicked back by Sony. So when Sony looks at the game and basically they've been telling the publishers, the developers, hey, no.
This game was already in production, was already getting released.
Yeah,
after they did the meeting for censorship. Maybe it was already too late.
Censorship was out for like a month or two ago. This game came out last week. They can
still do a
kickback.
The game is already done and over with. Maybe they don't care about anime.
Maybe.
Ashley, you sound like you have an echo on you. Are you on an open mic on a Surface?
Yeah, I have headphones.
Oh, you're using headphones?
Yeah.
Huh. You sound like you're in a very open room.
She's in her art room.
She's in the art room.
Lance, do I have an echo on your end?
No. Not that I know of.
Must be your
like
end.
What? Oh, like what do I know? Right?
Must be your end, Grim.
Exactly, Lance. What do you know?
We did the
you know how to win StarCraft with carriers.
Well, yeah, it was like you always complain to me about me using carriers, and like pros don't use this and that, and you freaking pull out carriers. I haven't seen a Reaver dropship in a long time, and I saw it, I was like, holy shit. That thing's really hard to pull Reaver dropship or Corsair, Mass Corsairs. Mass Corsairs, I don't think it's only good if you have anti-air and stuff. But other than that, it's not really that effective.
All right. What's next on the news for this week?
I don't know.
I thought you looked all this stuff up.
Maybe not. Let me see what's on the list. Let me know what's on the list. Anthem. The demos for Anthem and the beta.
All right. Did you play it? I played the demo.
I did not play the demo. I watched Boogie play the demo.
I don't know yet. I really, you know what? Like,
it feels like Destiny.
The combat is much better than Destiny, in my opinion.
To me, while watching, it looks like Destiny that mixed with Iron Man.
I mean, does it though? I mean, Destiny was a first-person shooter. This isn't.
Yeah. But we'll see more about it once the game actually comes out. I might buy it. I may not buy it, depending.
We've been trying to hold up buying brand new games, wait for their price to go down.
I mean, Anthem. Remember, Anthem is a
BioWare game.
Well, it's a multiplayer game.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta like multiplayer shooters, I guess.
Destiny is also a multiplayer shooter, wasn't it too? Destiny 2 was.
It was completely, yeah.
And I did not like Destiny 2. Did not have much context on. But yeah, Anthem. I might play it. I don't know. I need to see a lot more than that. Of what they're offering.
It was a short demo. Yeah. Also, BioWare said that, and I have to think to myself, what does this mean? They said that this game is not necessarily completely representative of the actual game that's going to be released.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Probably because there's been more content in there that we don't know of, or they're not even yet. Is that game does that game has a due date yet? That's gonna be released, or are they still working on the damn thing?
With the demo, it doesn't. With demos, it doesn't exactly mean that part's gonna be in the game. That they could scrap that part and put a whole new thing. Sometimes that's what happens in demos. That they're just giving you a feel for what the game is going to be like, but doesn't mean that part's going to actually be in the final product.
I mean, that makes sense, right? But I worry that they're going to change the gameplay, or that's not the gameplay. That what we got is not actually representative.
So basically, they're not even getting close to getting done with the game. They're still figuring out.
They're still in production.
Yeah. They just probably put that thing out there so you guys have a little taste and get the feedback. Basically, they're trying to figure out, if you should keep it or not.
They're trying to get the feedback to see if people like the way it is going toward, or if they have to change a few things.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I hope that they expand off this, because what I saw felt pretty good, I think.
They're probably going to change a bit of it, though. They always do.
I felt it I'm just saying that I felt it. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Stuff's going to change, but I felt pretty good about what I played, to be honest. I did. Like, I was really worried for Anthem, and I mean, but we only got gameplay. We didn't get story or missions, and that could be a big bust right there, right?
You don't know what the exact story's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, if the game comes out and the story is just absolutely terrible, and there's nothing behind it but shooting stuff, right? It's just going to turn out to be another Titanfall.
Or another Call of Duty.
Well, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 didn't even have a story, right?
No, so, it was multiplayer.
No story, so it's just shooting people.
Yeah, I liked it, but
I'm not into Call of Duty.
I don't trust any new games ever. Poor Carl.
Carl, I hope you show up onto my stream on Tuesday when I'm playing Kingdom
Hearts. Jablinski still doesn't have any gameplay yet, or video games. He's waiting for his what's that device he's waiting for? Ouya. He's getting his Ouya. Trying to get his Ouya.
He's getting an Ouya?
Jack Black.
He's joking. He's getting an Ouya.
He's for the past every Friday night.
What he's saying is that his gaming setup's not done yet.
Yeah, it's like he's waiting for his Ouya.
He's waiting for his Ouya. Well, he's going to be waiting a long time for his Ouya. Is he also waiting for his Atari box and his Coleco Chameleon?
I'm guessing. I don't know but he's getting a hell of a lot of subs and likes, and I like the comedy aspect of it.
Actually, it's a real system, but it's defunct, right? I mean, they don't make them anymore. I guess you can get them off of eBay. But...
Yeah. But
yeah. Yeah, of course he's getting a lot of subs. He's Jack Black.
Yeah, I like watching it for the comedy aspect.
How many videos does he have up in there? Last time I checked, he had 2 videos.
He does it. I think it's like 4 or 5 now.
He posts every Friday
night.
So what do you think about people like Jack Black coming on the platform?
I really
it's
don't
fine.
care.
I like it. He's funny and he's down to earth.
He doesn't feel generic like the other celebrity that does the YouTube.
All right, but don't you think celebrities coming on YouTube in general takes away from content creators that are not celebrities?
Not a lot of these celebrities make it big on YouTube.
Well, someone like Jack Black, I mean, he puts up one video and in a week he's got 1 million subs.
Because it's Jack Black. It's comedy. And plus,
I'm just pointing out that there's a lot of really good content creators that are independent, which most content creators are, that can't get subs.
Well, have them write an angry letter to Jack Black. He might make a video of reading them to them. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Yep.
I don't think he'd do it because I think that that's not the type of count. I think that I don't know. Maybe he would do it, but I don't see him as someone who's a drama.
No.
Drama guy. So
I think he's doing this to get closer with his son, his kids.
He has a son that he puts on there and takes him to arcades and stuff. Yeah. So I think he's trying to get closer to his kid.
Because a lot of the kids, my brother generation, are glued to their tablets and YouTube. So basically, I think there's one way he can try to connect them. Like, let's make a content for just us two and stuff like that. It's a more family oriented stuff.
Yeah, it's really just family stuff that that's what his channel is. It's mostly just him and his son.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like what, 12? Something like that.
Yeah, we're streaming Tuesday night for Kingdom Hearts 3. And I'm gonna get a mouthful from Grim. So you got the DLC that I can't get because I gotta pay $20 more for it. Like, yeah.
No, I get why you bought it. You bought it because you wanted the whole game with the extra key, right?
No. I know about the skin key. That was it. You only get that when you pre-order from Amazon. That's how I heard, and I just got that.
The limited edition is available not just from Amazon; it's available from anywhere. You can buy it from the PlayStation Store, from the Xbox Live Store.
I want to get in the physical one from Amazon. I don't buy much games from GameStop anymore. They basically pissed me off. A couple of them are on this store in South Carolina.
Let's talk about your GameStop horror story.
Well, I don't really have a horror story. It's like police officer gets a discount at GameStop.
Yeah.
So a service member, but the service member is put under the police officer discount. So I get 10% military discount for any items that's there. And I had a couple stores here give it to me because they know and the manager's there. And a couple of these other guys are freaking assholes. Like, no, you gotta be next to a military base. There's one 30 minutes away. He's like, oh, it's for police officer. Like, yeah, also armed forces too. I done it in California, over Delaware. I did it in Pennsylvania. I did pretty much, like several states around the country. It's like, you guys do it. Do you want me to call your manager? And I end up doing that. It's like a lot of times, like, you know what? Keep the game. Just go to GameStop about 5 minutes down and just get it from them. I know they'll give me. I know I know they will give me the 10% discount.
I mean, it was that one. Someone not knowing.
Huh?
It's just that sounds like just a case of someone not knowing.
No, it's not that. They don't like confirm or clarify to their manager superior. They want to be all stuck up and look at me like, no, you can't. It's like, bitch, please. This is not my first rodeo.
It's not?
No.
It's not?
Yeah, shut up. Tales of Vesperia on the Switch.
It's going to be graphically inferior to the other two versions.
Yeah. I want to get the Tales of Vesperia on the PlayStation 4, but I'm waiting for it to go down in price.
Don't we have it on the PlayStation 3?
It doesn't exist on the PlayStation.
On the Xbox 360.
Don't we have it on the Xbox 360?
Yeah.
Why do I have to buy it on the Why do I have to buy another one?
Well, I mean, they did remaster it.
Yeah.
Like, how good is the graphics? You watch gameplay of it? It looks a lot cleaner.
A little bit. It's a little bit better looking. Yeah. It's not a lot.
How much are they selling this shit for? I bet $60.
It's $60.
Is it $60?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll be waiting on it. I didn't check, but yeah, that's not a game I'm going to pay $60 for. Well, I don't want to pay $60 for any game. So that's okay.
I don't pay for $30.
I don't pay $60 for games. I won't do it.
PlayStation 2 games are like $30. I remember that. I miss them days.
What?
PlayStation 2 games with $49.99 at release.
Yeah.
Not where I was.
I mean, PlayStation 1 games were also $49.99 at least. Where did you live that they were less?
I remember SNES games were I remember SNES games brand new were like $20 to $30.
They were SNES Super Nintendo games. I think were either $29.99 or $39.99, I believe.
I was like, I remember going to. I remember Goodyear. I remember back then Goodyear was not just like tire place. You go buy like tires and stuff for your car. They also have a little gaming section for like kids. So me and my uncle always go there and get like SNES games like Mega Man when it first comes out and stuff like that.
Goodyear did that?
Yeah, in Beverly Center in Los Angeles.
Oh, I might have been thinking of Game Boy games. Game Boy games.
Oh, yeah, Game Boy games were always $29.99. It wasn't until
then PlayStation 2 games were $39.99.
I don't pay any money for games, so you pirate games, huh, Carl? I gotta call the FBI on you, Carl. Well, you live in Canada, so there's no jurisdictions. So, do what you like to do.
The FBI can go and do whatever they want. I don't care what country you're in. If they want to get you, the FBI will get you.
Then Carl, they're gonna get you.
That's just the way they work. And
I thought they only had jurisdiction in America.
That's not. You're not going to tell me it's otherwise. The FBI goes into other countries all the time, and they tell the authorities in that country we're doing X, Y, and Z, and the authorities in that country just go, okay. I mean, look what just happened in Canada. I'm not trying to get into politics, but I'll just mention this one thing. Look what happened in Canada.
Just do it. The FBI don't care.
Let me. So the oil official from Hawaii, whatever the name of the large oil company in China, whatever the name of the company, I am sorry I can't pronounce the name. But anyway, they are accused of by the United States of breaking sanctions that the UN has against Iran. So one of their executives' daughters, who is an executive of the company, flew to Canada. And when she got into Canada, the United States and the FBI said, hey, Canada, she's wanted by the United States. And Canada went, oh, okay, bam, and arrested her. And she's right now being held waiting extradition to the United States. And China's pissed about it. And right now, China and Canada hate each other over it. Because China's saying that, oh, Canada shouldn't get involved. And they should send her back. Except that Canada has treaties with the United States, so they have to get involved because they don't have a choice. They have a treaty. If the United States says you need to hold her, she's wanted, they have to hold her. I'm sorry, China. That's not the way it works. The way it works is...
Let's stop with the political talk.
So I'm guessing they have pretty much the same criminal system as we do then.
I mean, it's I don't know. Like the court system in Canada is similar to ours. But that's not the point. It's the treaties.
Hey, Grim, if I send you my SNES Classic, you think you can add games in there for me?
Yeah, I can mod it. It's a soft mod.
Okay. How many games can you shove in there?
I don't know how big the card on it is, but I think you can put quite a few on there. But it's a soft mod, so it's doable. It's doable.
Okay, because I have an open one and an unopened one.
And by soft mod, that means I don't have to do any hardware modifications to it. It's all done by software.
Okay. So what?
But I have to say this though: if you just buy the Odroid, you don't even need to touch either of them, because the Odroid just runs RetroPie, which will run all the SNES carts.
Well, I need to wait and save money. I might get it this February, depending how much money I have remainder from everything, because last month was $600-700 to the hospital for medical bills and everything I had to pay for from the accident. So,
got on some type of plan. Why'd you pay it all at once? Just asking.
Because I already paid all at once and don't deal with it to the future. Have more money in the pocket the next month.
I guess so. I mean, but if they can't really charge you interest, so
I just want to get done. I just want to get done over with because I also want to save up for the summer too and everything else. I don't want that little nick on the side.
Right. You're going to Vegas in the summer, right?
No, this summer I'm going to Redding, California. Get my shit. Sell all my Magic cards.
Why are you?
Also, all right. In June, my mom's coming.
Yeah, I'll be going down there in July or August to go get their stuff in Redding.
On to another gaming topic. Did you see that the new Dragon Ball action RPG that's going to be coming out will actually be a complete retelling of all of Dragon Ball Z? What? You don't like fight, train, fight, train, fight, train, win?
It was the same as the one on the SNES all the way till now. It's just the same, but just bigger, better graphics, just add-on stories.
Dragon Ball Z is the same no matter what season it is. It's train, fight, win. Same thing over and over. It's all regurgitated stuff.
And also,
it's so powerful, evil enemy. We gotta fight it.
And also, Dragon Ball GT.
About my kids. I have to train and fight them.
Also, Dragon Ball GT never existed. Never existed. Even the creator of Dragon Ball said so.
What did exist?
Dragon Ball GT never existed. Never happened.
Explain that.
When the creator of Dragon Ball stopped, told the Dragon Ball Z, he stopped there. Someone else did Dragon Ball GT. Later on, he did not like Dragon Ball GT, so he scrapped it and he created Dragon Ball Super. So whenever what happened, Dragon Ball Z, the next one is Dragon Ball Super. That's now we got Dragon Ball Super with Beerus and stuff.
Okay.
That's why everything in GT and the movie in GT is not canon. It's not canon anymore because GT was so bad.
It was bad.
So bad.
I never watched GT. That's why I was asking.
Don't watch it. You'll regret it.
The only one I really watched a lot of was Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Z Kai, yeah, that is fine.
Yeah, that's the only one I watched a ton of. That's why I was asking about the difference. But all right. Hey, so on the topic of video game anime,
Force Jump next month.
What's Force?
Jump Force.
What's Jump Force?
It's all the Jump characters.
Shonen Jump.
Yeah, like Dragon Ball, Naruto.
Bleach. I think they may have One Piece, right?
Yeah, One Piece. It's coming on March. I'm getting that.
Naruto's gonna be in there, I think, too.
My question is Yu-Gi-Oh in it?
Yep. Yu-Gi-Oh's gonna be in it.
Original characters or newer seasons?
Original character. Yugi's gonna be in there.
Yugi!
Huh? Honey? Oh.
Lance, I'm having trouble. I hear echo like another voice.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it says regular Yugi feral mode. He uses cards and beat people up. I saw the trailer for it. God Eater 3 is coming next week.
Now that's kind of exciting. What are you expecting out of that game?
Another hack and slash game.
You never even played the first two.
I did for a couple hours each.
Yeah. He can't even play the third one. He hasn't even beat the first two.
I will be playing the third one.
I played them on the Vita.
I have a download. I have one downloaded on the PS4. I got the one Japanese version because I thought they have English subs in it, but no. I got 2 on the English, and 3 is going to come on February 8th. I'll be getting that next week, and I'll probably be playing it. It's either I play that, or I'm going to finish beating Ashley's Kingdom Hearts 3 for her.
No, I'm going to do it.
Like I said, if you don't stream it every day for a good amount of hours, if you don't, I'm going to touch it.
I mean, how many hours are you expecting it to be streamed at once?
I'm thinking I can beat it in 2-3 days.
I can only play games for like 4 hours.
I can do 12 to 16, 18 hours.
I mean, I think 4 hours at a time is a pretty good amount of time, Lance.
Well, remember Persona 4?
Also, remember, Lance, I stream on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Looks like I'm touching it on Wednesdays and Friday.
No, you're not.
GT isn't canon. Also, 8 of the 13 movies ain't canon anymore. Yep.
Are you going to be streaming that instead of doing art this week?
No, she's going to be streaming art, I believe. We've been slowly getting slubs now. It's weird. Usually, like next day, we drop 6, 8. Then I'm getting positive now. I don't know what's going on. It's scaring me right now.
Why is it scary? What do you mean?
No, usually you get like 6 in a day, then you in like 4 or 5 negative.
I have to be careful on my art because YouTube has done they've done new censorship on art now. You cannot show your artwork cannot show nipples at all. It used to be fine because it's art. It's not an actual, real person. But you can't show it anymore.
Well, I don't think that they're taking those videos off the platform. What are you saying? They're just not putting them in the algorithm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
And also your channel will get flagged for it.
What's the flag? Inappropriate content?
Yep.
Did they put that in the terms of service?
I was watching an art YouTuber, and they were saying the new terms of service.
YouTube is just they're getting out of control with censoring stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Art is like getting really censored now.
Also, they want to do more positive influence on the videos now. Any negative influence and stuff, they are not going to put it recommended at all. So if you curse a lot and stuff like that, you won't be in the recommended thing or in the algorithm for, unless they like manually search for you.
I mean, is it also true that they're going to hide any videos talking about conspiracies?
Yeah.
From the algorithm?
I
saw that on I read that somewhere.
Mm-hmm. They're getting it done. It's not done right now, but they're getting the coding it in. Then they're getting a couple people to you have to have put actual what you call those like human input on it, while the algorithm is getting that input and learning it into like so many of it as well.
Is it learning that a conspiracy is an opinion, and if something is a conspiracy, is completely.
It's like you don't have to put conspiracy. I think only thing it will probably do with that is if you have any kind of conspiracy or any kind of like news conspiracy that's been out on like the web for a long period of time, like 9/11 conspiracy, would probably be hidden, unless you manually search for it.
Are they gonna hide like flat Earth society and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's conspiracy. It's not an actual theory.
Some people would argue that a lot of conspiracies are real.
I would like you're delusional.
I don't know about that. I mean,
I'll be like, we should shoot you to Mars, and you can start your colony there.
I mean, someone really needs to start an alternate platform to YouTube.
Twitch is not that great.
I'm not talking about Twitch. I'm talking about a VOD service like YouTube. There's BitChute.
How good is that?
Well, there's not a lot of people on it.
Well, I'm still figuring out who's going to replace Facebook.
No one. Have you seen how big Facebook is?
Well, remember how big Xanga and MySpace, Friendster and MySpace was that Facebook came by?
Hey, I hear you loud and clear. but none of them were the size of Facebook ever. Facebook is like the 5th most profitable company in the world. They own Instagram, they own WhatsApp, and they're integrating them all. They're integrating Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger so that they can all talk to each other. And that's going to be huge. When Instagram,
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to go use the restroom. Ashley's face. You guys talk. I'm going to use the restroom really quick. Wait a second.
So, how does the censoring of the art make you feel, Ashley? I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I see nothing wrong with the human body. Everything's art to me. Why censor something that's beautiful?
Yeah, I don't even disagree with, conceptualize. I don't know what it's called, but like making the anime interpretations of the human form. I mean, why does that stuff need to be censored? Why are they doing this?
SJWs probably.
Do you blame the millennials? Do you blame your generation?
I don't count them as me.
So you are a generationless person?
Yep.
Or what does Lance feel about that?
Well, people are saying millennials, but it doesn't mean it is the millennials because Generation Z is 1995 to 2010.
Right, but Generation Z, for the most part, it looks like that Generation Z politically is following Generation X, not the millennials. Because Generation Z are mostly the children of Generation X, and not the millennials. The millennials, their kids are, some of them are Generation Z, right? But some of them are younger.
My mom's Generation X.
Right, I'm Generation X. So a lot of the Generation Z kids, not all, are from Generation X parents. Some of the Generation Z are from millennials, but the older Generation Z kids are all from Generation X. And for the most part, politically and culturally, they're following in the footsteps of their parents, not the millennials.
I'm pretty much following my parents.
I'm back.
And you have parents of what, Generation X?
My dad was born in 63, and my mom was born in 68.
So your dad is actually a baby boomer. He's not even Generation X. He's older than Generation X. Generation X is like 67, 68.
My dad is Generation X.
It's a 61 for Generation
Go to
X.
sleep, Carl.
I thought it was later.
It's 61 and what was it?
So I'm looking at the baby boomers.
61 to 81 is Generation X.
So what I'm seeing, I'm looking at another one. I'm seeing that baby boomer is 46 to 64. X is 65 to 82. No, 83. Millennials are 82 to 95, and Z is 96 to present. That's what I'm looking at. That's what Google says.
There's like multiples of them. They keep changing them years.
Yeah, they're off and on by a couple, but I'm pretty sure on most scales, 61 or 62 is baby boomer, and 68 is definitely Generation X.
That would be my mom, because my mom just turned 50.
Yeah, so she's definitely Gen X. Definitely Gen X. And you guys are definitely millennials. But anyway, I'm just saying that the older Gen Zs, the ones that are like 18, 19 years old, which is about where the oldest, I think the oldest Gen Zs are maybe 20, 21. Those are the oldest of the Gen Zs. They, for the most part, are following, it looks like, the Gen X generation. And you know why Gen X was called Gen X, right? By the baby boomers? It was because of a false concept. This is actually interesting. The false concept is that the baby boomers, they were having kids, and they were basically saying like, oh, look at the world, look at the country, we've solved everything. Everything is solved, right? Basically saying that the world's problems are solved, meaning, oh look, the Soviet Union has crashed. You don't have to fight communism. The wars are going to be over. We've solved all these problems. So you're a generation without a mission. You're a generation that doesn't have a purpose right now. So we're going to call you Generation X. Little did they know, they were completely wrong, because the world
Wasn't the Vietnam War in like?
It was before the Vietnam War. Generation X were little kids. So for example, I was born after the Vietnam War, and I'm Generation X.
Then you have the Cold War.
My brother, my older brother, who's 10 years older than me, he was born during the Vietnam War, but he was a little kid during the Vietnam War. So the baby boomers fought the Vietnam War. And then in the 80s, then in 1990, the fall of the Soviet Union, the Berlin Wall fell. 1990s when the Soviet Union completely fell. The Berlin Wall came down in 89. But the baby boomers basically said, "Oh, you're Generation X. You don't have a purpose yet," because the baby boomers were claiming that they had solved the world's problems, and we all know that that's not true.
Yeah,
and so the whole term became what they meant by the term Generation X is meaningless. It's meaningless, and in fact, the baby boomers still hold all the power, right? Look at the age of the politicians. I'm not going to name politicians because I don't want to seem like I'm on anyone's side here. But from the president to the speaker to the leaders of the Senate, they're not Generation X. They're baby boomers, You
mean they're too old to be there? Need new people.
Yeah. I think we'll move on to Dungeons and Dragons and Forgotten Realms.
Sure, let's talk about that, yeah.
And I think that'll be it for the podcast because we have nothing to say. I just came back from the bathroom and I hear like political talk and shit. Like, what?
So when political talk comes up, there's easier ways to ease out of it than to just pinpoint at someone. And I'm just saying for future podcasts, there's not a lot of people here.
Yeah.
There's easier ways to lead out of it than just say, all right, stop. So that's very poignant and actually can put people that are in the stream watching off quicker than just easing out of it.
Yeah.
So the best way to get out of political talk is not make it a point that people are talking about, but like ease out of it. Like, yeah, no, I hear you on what Pelosi did. I mean, that all sucks, Hey, I'm looking at IGN right now, and did you see the review on the new Star Trek? I mean, see how I segued into Star Trek from.
Let's do Forgotten Realms.
Not all the books.
Because you told me that because you were explaining to me like every new edition that comes up in Forgotten Realm, major incidents happen. But
that's how they do it. That's just how they've always done it. So for every edition, going from first to second, from second to third, from third to fourth, and from fourth to fifth.
So the one thing I do not know what happened to third to fourth and fifth. Those are the things that I'm still trying to wrap my head around right now. Like, what was the major disaster from those two editions?
Um,
I'm guessing.
yeah,
I guess you got to look it up.
No, I know what happened from 4th to 5th. It was called the Sundering, and there's.
What happened to 3 to 4 then? Let's do 3 to 4, then 4 to 5th.
The Empire of Nethril reappeared after like 2,000 years and screwed up the world.
What's the Emperor of Nethril?
Nethril. So it's an empire that like 2,000 years from the current age of second edition D&D.
Mm-hmm.
It was a human empire that had like developed super magic, right?
Yeah.
And they actually lifted up their capital city and moved it to the plane of shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And they disappeared for thousands of years. And they've actually been living and collecting magic in the plane of shadow. They worship Sharn, the goddess of shadows. Is that her name? Forgotten.
Or if you want, you can snuggle with me in the bed. I bet to pick it up for us.
The Mistress of Night, Night Slayer, Lady of Loss, or the God of Darkness is a deity. Yes, so she's neutral evil, and she is the sister of the goddess Sun. But anyway, that's less important. That this empire basically went to the plane of shadow, which is the plane that she ruled. So what happens in 3rd to 4th edition, those two planes collide. The plane of chaos, the plane of shadow collide to make what we now know as the Shadowfell, or the opposite world, where it's a mirror image of the prime material plane, but it's evil for the most part. Think of the Upside Down in Stranger Things. The Upside Down in Stranger Things is actually kind of based on the idea of the Shadowfell from D&D. So, and the Demogorgon as well, which is one of the leaders of hell outside the abyss. And anyway, so when that happens, Nethril, the human empire, returns to the Forgotten Realms and just screws everything up. Screws up all they screwed all the politics. They start attacking other countries that have been around for thousands of years that didn't exist when they were gone. And do you know what? No empire or country ever took the land that they owned in Faerun. It always just existed as a wasteland. And they suddenly appeared back in that wasteland. And everyone's just like, what? Where the hell did they come from?
So basically like an invasion.
Right. Basically, they're invading back. They're invading their original home again. Except that they could have literally just appeared and taken the same spot on the map that they had and just left everyone else alone. Because even though they were gone for thousands of years, everyone thought that land was cursed, so no one ever built anything on it. So it always just existed as kind of like a wasteland, so no one took it. What they should have done, and remember, they're not necessarily evil. They're just egotistical. I would call them evil. I'd call them egotistical. Now, an empire that has existed for that entire time, which is evil, is the country of They, Red Wizards of They. And they existed for that entire time. If I had been Nethril, I would have appeared and just attacked They and destroyed it. But that's not how they wrote the story. I think understanding how the world exists now is more important than knowing every detail of every event like that. Just generally knowing the timeline is.
Carl says I get lower and lower every time he comes back.
What gets low? Lance gets low. Oh, yeah. Anyway, what else do you want to know about Forgotten Realms? It's so you should be able to read a timeline, just a simple timeline. You can probably get it on Google, and it will go back from the beginning to where the other continents were actually inhabited by giants, and go to the future where 5th edition is at. And Elminster is currently back in 5th edition. He actually had disappeared at the end of 3rd edition.
Who came back?
Elminster.
Who's he?
Elminster is one of the main characters of Forgotten Realms.
Only Forgotten Realms books I read was Drizzt.
Oh no, Elminster is also one of the main characters of the Forgotten Realms. He has his own book series, not as many books as Drizzt, simply because. So Elminster was actually the PC character that Ed Greenwood played when he was writing the Forgotten Realms back in the early 80s. Because you have to remember that the Forgotten Realms was an early 80s, late 70s campaign written by writer Ed Greenwood, and Elminster was his wizard. And therefore, when Wizards picked up Forgotten Realms and got the rights for it from Ed Greenwood, he wrote the original source book for the game. He wrote Elminster in as one of the main characters because it was his PC. Elminster is one of the most powerful people on the planet. He is what's called a chosen of Mystra. Mystra is the goddess of magic, the protector of the magic weave. And when Mystra died, Mystra was killed in the time of troubles, which happened a few hundred years ago to the timeline that we're in now for the Forgotten Realms of 5th edition. It happened actually it was the event that happened between 1st and 2nd edition. It's when all the gods were cast down to the earth as mortals. Mystra tried to get back to heaven by accessing the celestial stairway, which Helm was guarding. And Helm gave her several warnings not to go up the damn stairwell, that they weren't allowed to go back to heaven until the conditions that the overlord god Ao were met, which they hadn't been met. But she was like, oh, hell no, you're not stopping me from going up the stairway back to heaven. And he was like, oh, hell, yes, I am. And he killed her.
God damn.
And he destroyed her. And
I thought when she dies, there's no weave, because she's the one that has the magical weave.
Not the weave. She protects the weave.
Okay.
She protects it from being used by other people. So that left the weave open. But what happened was some of the gods were smart, and they made it so that if anything happened to them, part of their essence would be put into a living person, containing a living person. This is what happened with Baal. This is in the story of Baldur's Gate. Remember, the story of Baldur's Gate is about the evil god of murder, Baal, being reborn, because he also died in the time of troubles. He died in a fight against other gods in the time of trouble, and everyone thought he was gone. They were like, "Good riddance, Baal, an evil one of the evilest gods of the planet, is gone." But he left some of his essence in the Baal spawn, who was the main character of Baldur's Gate's brother. And when his brother died, Baal was reborn. Bane did the same thing. Bane did the same thing. He was also reborn, even though he was killed in the time of trouble. But anyway, Mystra left part of her essence in what she called the Chosen. And Elminster was the most powerful of the Chosen. So technically he's immortal because he has the power of a divine being in him in a certain way. Although at the end of Time of Troubles, a very powerful mage named Midnight, she was ascended to take Mystra's place, and she became Mystra. She looked completely different, and we come to find out at the end of that Mystra was never a specific god. It was a job, and different people had served as Mystra through the eons of the existence of the Time of Trouble. Of Forgotten Realms, and that in fact the Mystra that was killed by Helm wasn't even the first Mystra. So the Midnight Mystra, which is the current Mystra, is definitely not the first Mystra either. She's actually an ascended human. So there is a Mystra now. She's an ascended human, and she protects the weave.
That's very interesting. So
and her followers hate Helm. But Helm was just doing what his purpose is, what his job is, which is he is the seer and the guardian of all. And he was told he has to protect the celestial stairway. And Mystra wouldn't give up, so he did what he had to do, which was kill her. He gave her warnings. if you read the book, it's not like he just killed her. He said, he threw her back a ton of times. He's like, Mistra, you cannot go up these stairs. You may not enter. Walk away now. And she wouldn't do it, so he killed her. I mean, you go through all of these books.
Is it all in the campaign books?
So the Time of Troubles is in the Splat books. Yes, you don't have to just read the novels to get that information.
Which book is in the 5th edition?
It'll be on. I don't know. It'll be on any timeline. The Avatar trilogy will be on any timeline. But if you want specifics, I mean, if you read any of the Splat book information on Mistra, it should be in there. That
there was with the sword coast one that you told me to look at the Godsend. It only gave me like a 2-paragraph. That's it. Doesn't tell me much information.
Okay. Then the Pantheon and Faiths book.
The 3.5.
3.5 should have the information, and it's all valid.
I thought that the 5th edition is different because the Midnight took over Mistress.
That happened before 3rd edition.
Oh, okay. I can read that book, but I don't know what happened on the 5th. But it doesn't really tell me the whole story what happened to 5E. I'll try to find the information for that.
It's called The Sundering. I can off camera go over it with you, but it was a 6-book novel series. What happened?
Do you have all these books on PDF by a chance?
I have them. They're EPUB files. I can get you any Forgotten Realms book you want that has ever been written
start
since the late 80s.
Chucking it all into the Dropbox.
And there's a format called EPUB, which I think there's free EPUB readers out there because Windows should read EPUB. I believe.
Yeah. Ching and Carl wants you to talk about planets and space.
Planets and space. What do you want to know?
I don't know.
If I start talking about aliens, are we going to get hidden by the YouTube algorithm now that conspiracy theories are not allowed?
Truth, I really don't give 2 shits about the damn things. I'm not going to put like conspiracy theories and stuff like that.
Aliens, there would be a high possibility because there's billions of other planets out there.
I mean, sure, yeah. In our galaxy, there's hundreds of millions of stars. So one would think that there are probably billions of planets, so billions of planetoids. Because remember that there are definitely objects floating around in space that are not connected to a star anymore. I should say to a planetary system, which is a gravitational system where all of the objects are in a orbit around a star. So there are things that we call rogue planets, right? And rogue planets, think about it, they're just floating around in space between planetary systems. And one of the reasons why that's so cool is you can't actually see them. So if we point a telescope out to some random place in space, we don't see them because they're not giving off any heat anymore because they've completely cooled down because they've formed. They're already fully formed, so they're not putting out any heat, and there's no stars illuminating them in any way, and there's no way, and they're not affecting the gravitational path of another object that we can see. So keep in mind, remember, how do we find planets? Because you know that planet finding is a huge thing today, right? It's huge. But let me ask you a question, right? And you guys are millennials, so you were old enough to remember the later 90s, right? When was it that we actually found out that there were other planets other than the ones that are in our planetary system, the solar system? What year is it that we first discovered another planet other than the ones in our solar system, which we've known about for hundreds, if not maybe thousands of years?
Was it 96?
You, sir, get the donut. So planets
I was 6 years old.
Planets outside of our planetary system were literally a theory before 1996, it might have been 96 or 97, but you're close enough, okay, were literally a theory. And just the mathematics basically said to us, well, we know there's billions of other stars, right? So there must be other planets that have formed around other stars. But we had never designed the capability to ever see them. So we didn't even know if they existed. It was only a theory. No telescope had ever seen a planet outside of our planetary system. We just guessed they were there because we were going on the assumption, well, this is how our solar system formed. So other planetary systems probably form in a similar way. But it's crazy to think that a lot of people don't realize that we didn't even absolutely know. We did not have actual proof until the late 90s. And the way we found other planets were, at first we could only find very, very large planets because the only way for us to see them was to look at another star and look at how it rotates and how its gravity affects other stars around it. And what we would do is look for slight wobbles, right? A very slight wobble. And that slight wobble would tell us there's got to be something else there affecting its gravity, because an object that has nothing else gravitationally interacting with it, right, won't have any deviation. It will have just like kind of like a perfect path. So if something doesn't have a perfect path at all, right, something must be affecting it. So we calculate how big that other object is, and we were able to find other planets, large planets that were ever so slightly making these stars wobble. So it's interesting, and we couldn't do that until the late 90s. One of the other things that's very interesting about planetary systems, right? So in our planetary system, the small planets are closer to the sun, and the large planets are further from the sun. And there's gravitational reasons why that could be. But when we look at other planetary systems, it's like it's the reverse. It's very difficult for us to find any planetary systems where the large planets are not closer to the star and the small planets are not further from the star. So it's just strange how unique this planetary system is, where we have the small planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, the small planets, we call them the terrestrial planets, as opposed to the Jovian planets, based on Jupiter, which are the large planets: Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus.
But did they find like a super Earth that was like a lot bigger than Jupiter?
So I'm not going to call it a super Earth, but we definitely have found planets that are a lot bigger than Jupiter. Absolutely. We find them,
but they have like same characteristics and the Goldilocks zone as Earth, though.
So it doesn't. We've never found a planet that size that was actually made out of rock. So you're right. Where a planet like that is in the quote unquote the Goldilocks zone, the habitable zone of a G-class main sequence star. You have to be in a certain habitable zone. Mars is technically in that habitable zone, but it was just too small to have enough geological activity to last, say, past 1 billion years, where Earth is just a little bit closer and a lot bigger. So Earth's geological activity, its heat, its core heat lasts a lot longer. So, I mean, the Earth is an old planet in respects to planets, but it still has 700 million years at least of geological life left in it. I mean, we only have 700 million years to figure out what to do with the planet. I mean, the sun, Sol, it's going to be alive for another 4-5 billion years, and it does expand over time, and that could be a problem. But we do have to figure out the issue of the Earth's internal coolant.
Did you ever?
But I just.
Did you ever watch Star Wars Episode 7?
Yeah.
A planetary Death Star.
Well, no, it's not. So, no, they built the weapon on a moon. That's what happened to it.
Well, we
it
can
was
do
a
it.
moon.
We can do it to Earth this time. Moon is about to die.
Yes, and then we heat the core. I mean, why not? One would think that we should have sufficient One would think that in 700 billion years we should have sufficient technology to reheat the core of the Earth so that it won't be a problem, or to create enough energy that it doesn't matter that the core of the Earth has cooled down, and that the Earth's magnetic field might become depleted because we can manufacture our own magnetic field to protect us from the solar winds. You know,
that's if we live that long.
If we live that long, of course, who knows? Global warming is on its way, so we could be dead. But look, a planet the size of Jupiter, none of them are actually solid planets. But here's the thing: I don't know if I'd have to look at the map, right? I don't think you can have a solid planet the size of Jupiter. I don't think gravity would allow it. Remember, these Jovian-sized planets are all liquid. They're liquid. They're not solid planets. Only small planets like the size of Earth can be solid. Now, yes, you can have a planet a lot bigger than Earth and have it still be solid, but not the size of Jupiter. Because remember, from end to end, you can fit 1,000 Earths across the diameter of Jupiter. Mm-hmm. So it's significantly larger than the Earth. You know, it's significantly larger. But we have found these Jovian planets in the Goldilocks zone. And I know that we have now started to find, over the last decade, smaller planets. So, but it is interesting to think about the fact that most of the planets we find that are close to their stars, and I mean in the habitable zone, the Goldilocks zone, you know, in the vicinity of Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are the size of Jupiter, not the size of these, you know, planets. So what does that mean? That means something happened in this solar system that must have flung out these Jovian-sized planets, that must have flung Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus further out from the sun, and kept these smaller rock planets closer to the sun. Some type of event must have happened gravitationally between objects that caused that to happen early on in the solar system. Mm-hmm. You know, that event didn't happen in these other planetary systems. And I'd have to go back and revisit what some of the theories are on what that event is, but it had to have been a pretty big event, right? Mm-hmm. For that to happen.
It could be gods playing bowling.
You never know. It could have been the gods of Olympus. Yeah. The Greek gods, or maybe the Scandinavian gods. Maybe Thor did it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it was one of Loki's tricks.
Mm-hmm. It's almost hitting the 2-hour mark. Anything else you guys want to add in?
No. I mean, we've always been ending on space talk, so I guess that is the end of the space talk.
That's the end of the space talk. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment. Also, let us know what you want to talk about next week as well.
I hope you like the name, the Sunday Late Show Live, featuring your Monolith. It's the name of the show.
It is now.
That's who we are.
All right, guys. I will see you guys later, and I will talk to you later. Have a good night, guys. Bye.